So I'm about to give you my NIO 2021 stock price prediction. It's pretty big, so you want to stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? This is Sankey from Stockflix. Now before I talk about my NIO 2021 prediction, do check out my Trading 212 link. It's going to give you one share of stock worth up to $100. So go check that out, link in the description. I actually had someone who used it and got a free share of stock of NIO. Fantastic guys, go check the link out. Really helps the channel out. So on to NIO now. So if you're a NIO investor, if you're thinking about investing, this is the video for you. NIO's got a very, very good 2021 coming up, and here I'm going to give you my price prediction for NIO. So if you don't know, I was a former banker. This is what we used to do day in, day out. We used to forecast companies. So I've done this for NIO and I've come up with some pretty interesting numbers, so you're going to want to stay tuned. So the first thing, guys, that I did was look at the deliveries for this year. The deliveries for NIO are looking at 45,000. I had to ask myself, what are the deliveries going to be next year? And I forecast the deliveries are going to be about 90,000 units. That's double what the deliveries are this year. Now, getting to 90,000 units, that is only a 22% increase quarter on quarter. Considering that for their Q4 results, they're expecting to do about 35% growth, this is pretty conservative, right? So for next year, I'm estimating NIO is going to do 90,000 deliveries. Now we know that NIO has capacity issues because its third-party Jack Motors produces its cars. Right now, they can only do about 5,000 units per month. Early next year, they're going to be able to do 7,500 units. And this was mentioned by the CEO in their earnings call. So guys, that gives me comfort that NIO is going to be able to produce 90,000 units next year if their monthly capacity is going to increase to 7,500 units early next year. So the question is though, how do we go from 45,000 units this year to 90,000 units next year? I'm going to tell you in this video, but guys, before I do, please hit a like on this video. It really helps the channel out. So how are they going to go to 90,000 units? Firstly, they're introducing new car models. So they're introducing their ES8 sedan. Now, the date for this is up in the air. The date you might see online is 2022, but in their recent earnings call, in their Q3, their CEO did allude to them bringing out 2 new sedans next year. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to surprise us, right? I think potentially on NIO Day, they're going to announce the launch of their ES8 sedans. They're going to be available for order, and then they're probably going to start kicking off deliveries maybe mid-2021. That's what I think is going to happen, right? This company is going to hold a couple of things back from us. We saw what happened to XPeng. They produced their P7. They introduced their P7s with their butterfly doors, and it surprised everybody, right? Who doesn't like butterfly doors? So now they said they're going to bring out 2 new sedans, right? So we don't know, we know one's the E7, we don't know if it's a modification on the E7, we don't know if it's a whole new car. But these cars are pretty nice. They're stylish, they're sleek, they're gonna appeal to a different target audience than their current SUVs do, right? So they're basically, NIO's looking to capture more of that market share, which is fantastic. I love the design of these sedans, right? They've got this open, this glass top roof where you could see out. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The question is, how many sedans are they gonna sell next year? Now, considering I think they're going to bring these sedans out halfway through the year, they're not going to have too many months to sell them. So I think they're probably going to sell in the region of about 10,000 units for the whole year. That's still pretty good, and then it'll just ramp up 2022 and beyond, right? So now the question is, how are NIO going to deliver the rest of the 80,000 units? So the second component to this is their expansion into Europe. So guys, if you don't know, NIO are looking to expand into Europe in 2021. They announced that a few months ago. The market reacted very, very favorably to this. Share price popped off like 15%. It was fantastic, right? So we're gearing up. The market's looking forward to this European expansion, right? And I know people here in Europe who, everyone here has heard of NIO. Everyone's kind of excited for the cars to be launched. So it's a pretty big deal, and there's a huge addressable market for them in Europe. So now they're pretty slow with their expansion into Europe. They're not as fast as competitors like XPeng, who have actually sent cars to Norway. But NIO are looking to set up in Denmark, right? Copenhagen, Denmark. So they've got a team on the ground. They're just getting things ready, right? They're getting their salespeople, they're getting their consultants, they're getting everything, the infrastructure ready to sell the cars in Europe. So again, I think we're probably looking at midway through 2021 before they start selling their cars. Now, in terms of the number of cars that they'll sell, I reckon they'll probably sell about 5,000 units, being conservative, right? So if you add this to the amount that they're selling through the amount of EE7 sedans that they're selling, this gives you 15,000. So as you can see, we're slowly creeping up to that 90,000 delivery mark, right? But we've still got a hole of 75,000 units to plug. So the rest of the 75,000 units, they're going to come from sales in China of their existing SUVs. So guys, the Chinese addressable market is absolutely enormous, right? Just doing some research, I saw that between August 2019 and August 2020, China sold 18 million passenger cars, right? And if you don't know, China are looking to get more and more EV sales, right? They're looking to increase the portion of EV sales of their total passenger sales. So they're looking at increasing the percentage of EV sales out of total passenger sales to 25% by 2025. So each year there'll be a slow uptick until we get to that 25% number. So guys, that's looking at about 1 million cars per year are going to be EV. Now, NIO's looking to capture a sizable portion of that market. Yes, you've got players like Tesla, XPeng, Li Auto and the others, but NIO's brand is fantastic, right? So they are going to capture a decent portion of that. And I estimate that NIO could probably capture 5 to 10% of that. So you can see we're slowly plugging that gap, right? That's about 50,000 cars, 100,000 cars, right? That NIO are going to sell from this uptake of new EVs. One thing that's not given enough credit is NIO's brand in China, right? Their brand presence. And they've done this through different verticals, right? They have a fantastic mobile application that not enough people give credit to. It's almost like a social platform, right? They've got hundreds and thousands of daily active users asking questions about NIO cars, talking about NIO cars, increasing the hype, increasing the buzz, right? It's basically a social network for NIO users and prospective customers, yeah? They've got these NIO houses where you can go, you can see the cars, you can chill out, you can relax, have coffees, there's daycare, there's all sorts, there's theaters. Guys, these guys, they're building out a whole community around their brand. Not to mention, China love homegrown Chinese brands, right? If you look at phone sales, Huawei, they do fantastic in China. They beat iPhone sales. Why? Because the Chinese love the homegrown brand. So a company like Tesla, an American giant coming in, and NIO's always going to be seen as favorable, right? Guys, it's also worth mentioning the Chinese are big supporters of companies like NIO. There's subsidies, right, that they actually give to prospective buyers of NIO cars because of the battery swapping element, and they're only available to cars with the battery swapping. And we know that NIO is a pioneer of battery swapping, so it effectively lowers the purchase price for consumers to get more consumers to buy at EV companies. So now if you think that NIO have done well over 1 million battery swaps and they've got about 200 of these battery swap stations and they're growing rapidly, the consumers are becoming used to it now. It's becoming the norm. I think there was a statistic that said each Chinese person is around 3 kilometers away from the nearest battery swap station. So it's becoming convenient. They're going one step further, NIO, and they're actually coming out with these second generation battery swap stations. And they're setting up about 300 of those next year. So if you combine that with the fact that people are becoming more used to it, they're becoming receptive, they're excited about it, with a subsidy they now get, which makes the cars cheaper, you can see that this is looking fantastic for NIO, and you can see that's how they're creeping up to that 90,000 delivery mark that I mentioned at the start. Now, NIO also have this battery as a service, where you can buy the cars without the battery and lease the battery on a low monthly fee. Now, they came up with a statistic that said 35% of all NIO car sales had the battery as a service element. Guys, this is fantastic. You can see the uptake for the services that they provide, the initiatives that they provide is just growing larger and larger. And as it does, those deliveries are going to trickle up higher and higher and higher till we get to 90,000 units. And that is my estimate that they're going to hit next year, which is pretty conservative because it is only a 22%, about 22% quarter-on-quarter growth. So what does this mean for the share price? Well, we know that each delivery contributes about 1.5 million to the value of NIO. So 90,000 deliveries, I'm going to show you what that means. So guys, 90,000 deliveries equates to a value for NIO of 135 billion. Now, considering NIO's value is about 70 billion now, NIO will double its value next year. So for us NIO investors, what does this mean? This means that the share price, my share price target, my expectation for next year is $100. That means we could double our money on NIO in 12 months because NIO is around the $50 mark. Guys, this is fantastic, right? That is my share price target for next year, $100. And I think this is on a conservative basis. I think NIO's got a lot of things that I could bring out in this pipeline that can increase that share price above the $100 next year. Now remember, if NIO were to say they're building their factory, this would have a boost in their share price. If they said they're coming out with a new model of car, other than their sedan, this will boost its share price, right? If it said it's expanding into America or had plans to expand into America, this would give its share price an uplift. Guys, there's a lot of things that NIO has under its sleeve that could pop out and that share price will boom. So that's my target, conservative $100. But what does this mean for me? What am I going to do now? So if you don't know, I like to invest, and what I suggest doing is investing on red days. However, NIO's red days are a bit unpredictable. It doesn't have too many red days, and you might miss 15% jump in the share price if you wait. So what I'm going to do, and what I suggest you guys do, is dollar cost average into NIO over the next 12 months. If you don't know what this means investing a regular portion of money at regular intervals into NIO. So for example, you could invest $100 every 2 weeks into NIO over the next 12 months. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Please do hit a like on this video. It really helps the channel out. And I really do consider you guys investing into NIO steadily over the next 12 months. Obviously make the most of the red days when they come, but do dollar cost average into NIO because it will really help you guys make some fantastic returns. And over on this channel, when I win, you guys win. It's a partnership, right? Nobody gets left behind. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next one. Take care now.